Kyle Monsanto here reporting for Rebel News, and I'm out here in front of the Freedom Rally taking place outside CBC's headquarters in downtown Toronto. If you want to see the full report, you got to keep watching. Make sure to go over to Rebel Field Report so you can see more stuff like this.
Because they don't want you driving a car. They don't want you flying on vacation. They want you on a bike. They want you on a 5-kilometer radius, just like when you were locked down. It's almost like everything they did with COVID was to get you ready for now what they're trying to do with climate change. And nobody's talking about this.
So what brings you out here today?
Yeah, fighting for our freedom, take our freedom back.
We're here for freedom. We're fighting for freedom. To stop 15-minute cities and all the corruption that is happening in government.
Toronto mayoral candidate Chris Saccocia is here.
What is the #1 problem we have in our country, in our city right now? It's called corruption and waste. And every single one of those candidates has been a hallmark of that corruption and waste for decades.
And you can see a couple hundred people behind me taking a stand. Why, you might ask? Keep watching and you'll find out. I'll go through and ask what brings them out here today. And what brings you out here to the CBC building for the Worldwide Freedom Rally?
Well, the media is the virus, right? So defund CBC. Start with that.
It's just what's been going on the past 3 years, the devastation that it's caused families, the breakups. I'm here to fight for freedom, fight for everybody else's freedom who doesn't want us to fight for their freedoms.
What brings you out here today?
Freedom.
Freedom?
Freedom.
So today here, the Freedom Rally is actually held outside the CBC. Does that mean something to you to be outside the state broadcaster?
Yeah, media is the virus, right? As we say all the time, right? Again, not the new or the the fake media, but the mainstream media, right? Is the virus, and they have done every possible bit for to save the propaganda from the public so that they don't know what is going on. Basically, they are in bed with the government and the World Economic Forum, World Health Organization. So they have done more disservice to the people than the governments combined. So
For the mainstream media, fake for the last 3 years, right? The lockdown, the mandate. So the fake news, disinformation, the mainstream media. That's why we're here. Your protest.
What do you think of people who might say to you, it's 2023, what's the point of protesting for freedom? What would you say to people like that?
I'm doing this for my children and my grandchildren. I believe the light has to come, and it's the people that are standing up and doing something. Because Desmond Tutu said, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you are taking the side of the oppressor. I just want to feel I've done my part.
It is not normal. COVID might be over to a certain extent, but the vaccines are still being pushed on people. People are still losing their jobs.
If you're not awake, it's not normal. We all have to stand up for the rights and make sure that the government doesn't put us into cages. So people need to know. We all need to know. Everybody needs to know and wake up.
What brought me here? Well, like usually, freedom march. We want to get a government that is allowing us freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and freedom of deciding of what we want to do with our body, okay? It's always the same thing.
But I just know that if we give them the power that they're taking from us, that this world as we know it is never going to be the same. And I'm more concerned for our children, not for myself, because I've enjoyed the liberties of being Canadian, but I don't see that happening today in my world. So it really concerns me in regards to what's going to happen to our babies, right?
These politicians don't know how to raise revenue. They don't know how to solve problems. All they know how to do is reach into your pockets and take your money and make more rules to give themselves more control over things they otherwise can't control. I'll give you a perfect example. What did Olivia Chow tell you at the debate? How is she going to raise revenue and pay for things? Oh, she's ready to raise taxes. Oh, wait, you guys aren't cheering. Why aren't you cheering? Don't you want higher taxes? Isn't that what Toronto needs right now more than anything? After our COVID crisis, after our small business crisis? And that's another thing. How many of these politicians pretend like they're about small business? Meanwhile, they are all complicit in closing down over 30% of the small businesses in our entire country. Over 95% of our businesses are small business. Over 70% of our jobs come from small business, and they decimated the backbone of our economy and the backbone of this great city, while they look at you in the face and tell you that they plan on helping you. I was the only one that helped the small businesses.
Well, I've been at every worldwide rally. I've been at all the rallies since the beginning at Queen's Park. I've headlined worldwide rallies as far as London, England, and I've headlined the last worldwide rally in Toronto, which was when I announced that I was going to run for mayor. So it just made sense for me to come out here today, obviously, and continue the campaign and let everybody know where we stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am not a politician. I am the people. I am one of you. So why the hell would you ever vote for another politician when you can vote for the people? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to give Toronto back to the people. Thank you very much. I love each and every one of you. God bless you.
Chris for mayor! 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 Chris for mayor!
The only person I can hear who talks sense and talks freedom and talks about these topics that we have been talking about for last 2 years is Chris Saccocia. So I will suggest everybody who thinks common sense is still relevant, who understands freedom, should vote for Chris Saccocia. No questions asked. Like, he is the only person who's talking sense, common sense, which is very rare right now.
The person that I would choose is the person who is against vaccine mandates, against the mask mandates, against lockdown, against 15-minute cities, against the digital ID and the digital cash. I know that other candidates are for it, and there's only one person who is against it all.
I said everything that was going to happen years before it actually happened, and I gave people a step-by-step breakdown of how it was going to happen and when it was going to happen, and it happened exactly as I said, right up to the booster shots, right up to the vaccine passports, and now it's with the 15-minute city. I warned everybody about the 15-minute cities. They're already announced it. They're already dividing into districts. I warned people they're coming with a personal carbon allowance. They're already doing that. They're trying to track your groceries. They're trying to track your so-called carbon footprint. Everything I've warned about has come to fruition, and I am the only one not only warning you, but providing tangible solutions. So yes, I was Chris Saccocia, the freedom fighter, because that was the only way I could reach the people, with shock and awe, with satire, with sarcasm, with swearing, with yelling, with screaming, because these people were so asleep and they were being bombarded with so much propaganda. That was the only way. It had to do it. Now, I've made the transition from freedom fighter to statesman. It's quite different. You can see I have a different image because I'm talking to a different people in different way. I have to employ diplomacy. I have to employ problem solving. I have to be able and willing to work with everybody I need to get the job done. It is an entirely different environment. So I can understand why some critics would think, oh, he's rough around the edges. He was very brash and offensive and in your face. Well, that's what I had to be. I can be whatever I need to be. And with politics and with doing this and being a statesman, I believe I've made the transition seamlessly, and I believe I'm exactly what the people need if they want to have a better life for them, their communities, and their children's future.
If you want to see more reports like this, head over to rebelfieldreports.com. That way you can chip in towards our field reporting costs to bring you stuff just like this. I do not see the CBC or any other corporate media out here. You might wonder why.